Nisambula binaka, oya wane kamanalangi, oni nandorungo ziao, may nadiwa kinarua na bisinga, may namoniti kinabagarumbuka na Radio Fiji 1 nandoma ibiti bongani biyanyano. Nama katalanga na bengo na sasibiani na tinakaloka na bimbongi ni bukilulu. Kena bima maniwalu na bimbongi ni bakarawai, may nambuza ni balo ninge namaka.
नमस्ते दोस्तों, मिर्ची रफ्तार से मैं अश्निल सिंह। शामिल हो जाइए हमारे साथ मंडे टू फ्राइडे फ्रॉम 3 to 7 PM।
Tonight, maternity services strained at most urban hospitals. Quarry equipment to be sold off as shutdown looms this month. And FNPF extends amnesty for employers with unpaid FNPF contributions. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and you're watching FBC News. Maternity services at most hospitals are strained because of the increase in urban population. As Chanel Sivan reports, more people are making use of hospitals compared to previous years, and it's getting harder to cope.
With an average of 20,000 babies born every year, staff at maternity units are under more pressure than ever before. Head of gynecology at the CWM hospital in Suva, Dr. James Fong says the focus is to ensure that the level of service doesn't drop.
Having a lot of people in some facilities and not many people in other facilities. So you end up overusing the good skills in one facility and you end up losing the skills in another facility. So it becomes the job of those people who are busy to keep trying to train those who are not busy on how to keep up with obstetric problems.
Fong says they need to roll out antenatal services to health centers and enable these facilities to deliver babies so that services are efficiently spread out.
We'll have difficulty struggling with room space, keeping people admitted. We have problems with issues like having to get people to get discharged early so that we could facilitate for incoming patients. And all those are not ideal kind of settings to work in. And I mean, it's not particular to CWM, it's Lotoko Hospital, the Northern Division, Lambasa. All the urban facilities are struggling under the impact of urbanization.
A training program is now underway to upskill rural hospital staff and reduce the number of referrals to urban hospitals. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
Raki has a new acting special administrator. He is Diriki Wasawasa Ralulu, a former project officer at the Ministry of Local Government, and replaces Saini Raiko, who was interim special administrator until today. FBC News has sent questions to the Ministry of Local Government for comments on the change in leadership at the Raki Town Council. Director Local Government Ileana Maiser this afternoon said the issue is not for public consumption. Raiko could not be contacted for her comments. With the closure of 2 quarries, the Fiji Roads Authority is going to sell off whatever equipment it can so that it doesn't waste away. The Nasinu Quarry and the Lomolomo Quarry in Lautoka will close for good at the end of this month, leaving 57 people without a job. Epeli Tokuasa reports.
The closure is effective from the 29th of June after decades of supplying raw materials for major roadworks.
Quarries have been using quite ancient equipment. A significant investment would have been required in new plant or upgraded plant to make the quarries a viable business.
The aging Lomolomo Quarry has been struggled with plant breakdowns, while the Nasinu side, with an expired lease, is no longer viable to operate.
The close down at Nasinu is absolutely primarily because we were left with we were left without a viable source of rock to crush. Therefore, there is no quarry operation.
The Fiji Roads Authority will provide redundancy packages for the laid-off workers, while equipment will be put on sale.
We have a remaining stock of plant and equipment that whilst it is quite old, it still has some value, and we'll be looking to realise that value through an open tender process.
Raw materials from this site were used to pave some of the first terrestrial roads in Fiji. Even though government may have closed down the operation, new owners Standard and Concrete are likely to continue using this site at their quarry just a few meters down the road. Peli Tukuasa, FBC News.
The Fiji National Provident Fund has extended the amnesty period for employers who have not paid their workers FNPF contributions. The amnesty, which removes surcharges for non-payment, has been extended until the end of this month. FNPF Chief Executive Aisake Taito says the fund has been inundated with requests from employers for an extension. Taito says they have agreed because they want employers to fulfill their obligations and pay their contributions. The initial amnesty period was from the 22nd of April to May 30th. According to the FNPF, more than 200 employers took advantage of the amnesty offer, resulting in more than $614,000 being collected. Tonga is finally part of the digital world through Fintel. As Mikalonga reports, linking up with Fiji through fibre optic cables means the island kingdom isn't far from enjoying high-speed internet on par with the rest of the world.
With the contractors Alcatel France connecting Tonga's 860-kilometer cable to Fintel, it's now ready for powering up.
Powering up the cable is to inject power into the cable that will power the whole repeaters along the cable right up to Tonga.
Now with the difficult task being done connecting the cable from Tonga to Fintel, the men behind me are putting metal shields around the cable to protect it from damage. The cable enters a tunnel from here into the heart of Fintel's operations.
As you can see on the wall, this is the cable that's coming in from Tonga. So once the cable reaches Tonga and is connected up in Tonga with all the tests and everything completed, then we'll start powering up the cable.
On the ceiling here is the duct which will carry Tonga's line to the Southern Cross cable system in order to tap into the global communications network.
Going now to the Southern Cross equipment room, you can see that yellow ducting that we were following through from the Tonga cable system. Now it's entered into the Southern Cross. So optic fiber has gone into the Southern Cross transmission equipment.
This Southern Cross station contains millions of cables thin as a strand of hair which transmits information from and into Fiji.
This fiber can carry millions of data packets across the world.
And this is where the data leaves Fiji, reaching the furthest corners of the earth.
This is the two cable ends leaving our shores. One goes down to Australia, and this is the one that goes down to Hawaii.
Fiji is the only country in the South Pacific with direct connection to the Southern Cross cable. Tonga, being the first to tap into this resource, has paved the way for Samoa and Vanuatu, which have shown interest in doing the same. Mikalonga, FBC News.
Still to come, Rotuma looks into increasing trade prospects in the region.
जहाँ हो प्यार का बसेरा और रिश्तों की खुशबू, वो है आपका अपना घर संसार. Join me on घर संसार, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. only on Radio Fiji 2.
Bula, I'm Wame. Join me every weekday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on The Center Show with classic hits from the 70s as well as the 80s right here on Gold FM.
Welcome back. You're watching FBC News. Rotuma is seeking for more export markets for its agricultural produce. The Rotuma Enterprise Marketing Cooperative Limited, REMCOL, which has been running since 2011, has only been selling to Tuvalu. However, as Apisalome Dokar reports, there is room for growth.
REMCOL started off with only a few tons of ndalo to Tuvalu every 3 months. This has now grown to include a lot more organic produce.
To date, we are trading with ndalo, cassava, kumala, yams. We've included fruits like watermelon and pineapple. Last shipment we sent Kroro and Bele. and with a machine that is being audited now, we can send pawpaws, avocado pear, and mangoes to Tuvalu.
Fornette says farmers have been consistent with supply, so much that they are now looking for new buyers in the region.
Tuvalu is one we would like to venture into others. We wouldn't like to put all our eggs into one basket.
As Remcol grows and engages in more trade over the next few years, it sees a need to upgrade the Oinafa jetty.
It's not an easy exercise because we need to bring the expert in to study the waves and the force of the water around that Oinafa jetty.
The next shipment to Tuvalu leaves this month. Apisalome Doka, FBC News.
Search and rescue operations are a challenge for the Pacific, and efforts are now underway to improve our responses. A regional maritime search and rescue workshop being held in Suva is discussing ways of introducing new initiatives. Akosita Tale has more.
A lack of adequate infrastructure and skills in maritime safety administration means we don't meet international standards. Poor training is also an issue.
Increased effectiveness in assessment, planning, management and response to mass rescue operations within the marine environment in the event of a maritime or aviation disaster occurring within the Pacific waters and other similar situations.
13 Pacific countries are members of the International Maritime Organization, which means they're obligated to adopt best practices. This can only be done by learning from each other.
The achievement of a safer Pacific maritime and aviation environment, resulting in a positive impact on community, tourism, recreation and economic development.
In showing this commitment, the Fiji government has reviewed its national search and rescue plan after consultation with its stakeholders.
To improve search and rescue coordination, improve the effectiveness of search and rescue planning and management, and align Fiji to international requirements for search and rescue.
Being able to meet international benchmarks means Fiji and the Pacific could be in a better position to save lives during emergencies at sea. Aksita Tale, FBC News.
The opening ceremony of the International Sugar Organization meeting in Nadi got underway this afternoon. Delegates from around the world have arrived in Fiji with the Prime Minister and Chairman of the ISO, Vorenge Bainimarama, to deliver his opening address tomorrow morning. The meeting will look at ways of promoting sugar exports and the price of sugar amongst developing nations. ISO Executive Director Dr. Peter Barron was humbled by the traditional welcome accorded to the delegates.
And I can tell you that we are deeply grateful for this invitation to have these meetings on your island, and I hope very much that these meetings will be able to make at least a modest contribution to the future successful and sustainable industry of sugar in Fiji.
That time again, Jamie is here for Monday Night Sports, and the controversy continues with the Seven side.
That's right. A few questions have been raised over selection of the team. We found out what all the commotion is about after the break, and we also get an update from the national coach on his plans for the side from here on in. Stay with us for that and more.
Bula, oya wasala vilawa. Do pata ki au mena diwa kina tini karona kaloko na single boni moniti kina vagarumbuka. Kako ni valatana no musini sari na kai samarian dolo loma lene vani ni nau omgori ke de mena diwa kina tini karona kaloko na single boni moniti kina vagarumbuka en Bula FM number 2 en sere.
I wake up in the morning, I prefer to go down to the gym, get a bit of physical work done. Also, later on in the day, I decide to go through for meditation. I do a bit of reading to find out what the latest songs are, a bit of research. And for me, it's all about the listeners.
Hey, what's up? I'm Rio, and this is the Traffic Jam every weekday from 3 o'clock to 7, only on Today FM. Today's hit music. What's up?
Welcome back. First up tonight, the exclusion of star Westfield Barbers duo Serma Mburotu and Piu Tuwai from the Fiji Sevens squad has raised some eyebrows. In fact, the side which has won the majority of Sevens titles on offer in the country does not have a single player in the final 21-member squad. The controversy over the naming of the squad has even led to one national selector stepping down. Indra Singh has more.
The most successful club on the local Sevens scene over the past year does not have a single player in the Fiji Sevens squad. The question which needs to be asked is whether we are picking teams based on form or other methods.
Jerry should be in the squad with Britain, Pure Tuwai. For the two players, they should be included in the squad.
Already, one selector, Salosine Tenge, has stepped down after he claims head coach Alfred Indere made changes to the final 21.
Silos has written on the paper yesterday about that the selectors didn't knew that Dere would change a few names in the list. From what I see, it's just a miss of communication between the selectors and the coach. It's true that the coach has the final say, but he has that panel of selectors who are watching the players playing in the local tournaments.
Westfield Barbers have managed to bring glory to Nandi through their sheer hard work and commitment, which Lowe says is absent from the national setup.
We proved to the selectors that some of my players, 4 or 5 of the players, should be in the squad. But I was disappointed at the end of the day that none of my players were picked.
Being the final World Cup, Fiji needs to win, but with all the dramas off the field, the question which needs to be asked is whether we can. Maybe if the national side follows what the Barbers have done, they could turn around the misery of controversy into victory. Indra Singh, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, the Fiji Sevens side marched into camp today to prepare for the World Cup in Russia. The side has a full schedule ahead of them with 3 weeks to go till the tournament in Moscow. Tsalendau Dakadaka reports.
With the debacle surrounding Serma Mburotu's exclusion still fresh, the coach has put it all behind him and turned his focus toward Moscow. The side underwent a medical test today at Rugby House before heading to camp at Queen Elizabeth Barracks.
First week of camp we will conduct the team bonding and leadership exercise. And for the next 2 weeks we'll go into the specific sevens training.
Dere pointed out that the overseas-based players have shown great commitment to make themselves available.
They've been coping for the administration side, all the overseas-based players of the large 30, the initial 30 that was selected. So we've talked with them. And they've do that administration side of the preparations.
But before they travel, the first competition will be among the 21 selected players to make the 12 open spots on the team. Tsalendau Dakadaka, FBC Sports.
The Fiji Under-20 rugby side plays former world champs New Zealand in its first match of the Junior World Cup on Thursday. Already predictions are that the Fijians will not be able to match the Kiwis. However, the New Zealand captain is not taking things for granted.
Personally, we're expecting them to just play rugby and play what's in front of them. So we've got to do our business and try and play to our game plan and our systems.
And in local soccer, former Fiji football international Aaron Underwood played his first match for Suva in yesterday's 11-0 win over Savu. The striker was also on target for his new district, netting twice in the big win and pleasing his coach Gurjit Singh.
It was good coming back and playing at home. It's a wonderful feeling getting this good win. Good debut start for me.
Underwood and the Suva side marched into camp today to prepare for the Vodafone Fiji Fact. That wraps up sports for tonight. I'll be back tomorrow evening. Until then, stay safe.
The global demand for organic food is growing faster than supplies can meet it. This presents an opportunity for Pacific farmers through appropriate organic certification. The International Fund for Agricultural Development has given close to $1 million to assist farmers in gaining access to high-value markets by obtaining appropriate organic certification. Permanent Secretary for Agriculture Ropate Lingairi says Fiji recognizes the potential and opportunity that organic farming provides not only to Fiji but the region as a whole.
I'm told that through this project, SPC is going to identify 3 pilot groups of Pacific farmers in Fiji and Kiribati to become organically certified and develop their market opportunities through the participatory guarantee systems.
It is thought that the participating guarantee systems being discussed at the week-long workshop will build farmers' capacity and increase the local market for organic produce. It was mostly fine over the Fiji group today, with only a few cloudy periods over Suva and Savu-Savu. The Northern Division might see some evening showers. Temperatures were fairly consistent, with Lombasa posting a high of 33. Tomorrow's forecast is for more fine weather with only bits of cloud cover. For Wednesday, expect some showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands, fine apart from afternoon or evening showers. A quick look at the headlines. Urban migration is putting a strain on maternal health in urban hospitals. Fiji Roads Authority to sell off Quarry equipment from 2 sites that closed this month, and FNPF extends amnesty period for employers with unpaid contributions. Results from last week's opinion poll, we asked, should Fiji have a new national anthem? The answer was an overwhelming no. Less than 30% said yes. A new poll today. We ask, can Fiji win the Pacific Nations Cup? To answer, as always, visit our FBC website. Remember to send us newsworthy pictures and videos. Email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj. That's news tonight. See you tomorrow.
How would you like to spend your morning? You could spend your morning like this. Or you could spend it like this.
Tune in to the Morning Ride every weekday morning from 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. right here on Today FM, Today's Hit Music.
Oh, kayak boro-boro cuma tahu kami ngani tamam. Oh, gua nggak usah nih lah ngani tamam. Nimbula, ayaw Mr. Ben.
Ella ba?
Na magkikiraw manolo kinadio na bima taka monisi kina fangarumbuka.
Na Bula FM, na 2 and a shilling.